Greetings, Cohort T. I am Winter Walker, and tonight I have the pleasure of sharing with you some of the highlights for my project for the Learning and Cognition course. So, my course project is going to focus on optimizing the onboarding experience using VARK. VARK is an acronym for Visual, Audio, Reading, and Kinesthetic Learners. So, basically, it's just going to highlight the learning modalities. The reason why I chose this particular project is because while I was familiar with the different learning styles, it wasn't until I had a personal experience with onboarding to where I felt like there needed to be a change. So when I initially joined my group, I was onboarded by two separate scientists. And although they are highly intelligent, one of the scientists only presented the information in a way that was convenient and comfortable for her, which made it hard for me to understand. So during that process, it was difficult because every day that I would come to join the group, I would ask the same exact question, like literally the same question. Hey, can you show me how to do this every day? It wasn't until I got a second trainer who stopped and she said, hey, how do you learn? How would you like me to show this to you? And so I shared with her that I am hands on. So she said to me, hey, I'm going to put you in the driver's seat and you're going to operate this instrument as I instruct you. So for me, that was a game changer. So I'll again just reiterating, I knew of the learning styles, but I never considered it to be incorporated into the onboarding process. So this presentation will actually be presented to my human resource department to inform them of ways that they can incorporate different learning styles into the onboarding process so that the new hires are comfortable, that they retain information, not only retain information, but we retain those new hires because they are comfortable and they love coming to work every day and they're not frustrated. They're just happy. So hang on tight and let's get started. So with every presentation, of course, you want to have an agenda because, whether it's a virtual presentation, whether you are in person, you want your audience to know where you are. You want them to be able to follow along. But and also just the reality is that we all have busy lives. Sometimes you have to step away and you want to make sure that you have this agenda so they can take a break at the appropriate time. You don't want them to miss any information. So everyone will get an agenda. I am anticipating that this will be a virtual presentation. Virtual presentations typically reach greater populations at the Coca-Cola Company. One, because they're recorded and you can just save it and come back later if you're busy. But as a presenter, I, pride myself on engaging the audience because I want them to get the information. So I have incorporated different things to try to, capture their attention. So it will start off with the Mentimeter. It's a word wall that I created. So when they enter the breakout room, the first thing that they will see is how do you think you learn best? And so I'm going to pose that question and ask them to contribute to my word wall. I've already given some examples from how I personally learn best. And they are like from YouTube, from taking detailed notes, from trial and error. I have some wonderful mentors that I try to mimic their behavior using those mirror neurons. So we're going to start the presentation with the word wall. And then, keeping the engagement level high, we're going to jump right into an icebreaker. So the icebreaker for this presentation is actually a mini assessment, but it's a fun assessment. So the assessment was created by the vark.learn.com website. So participants that are going to show up in person, they will be given a physical copy of the assessment. However, for those viewers in the virtual space, they will be able to access the assessment via a hyperlink. So each participant will be given about 5 minutes to complete the assessment. Following that 5 minute interval, I will encourage them to partner up to discuss their results. I want to hear conversations like, what do you think about your learning style? Was it accurate? You mentioned, or I saw that you created on the word wall that you were a kinesthetic learner. Was that true? Are you a visual learner? So, this is a type of conversation that I want to generate amongst the attendees of the presentation. Okay, so follow the icebreaker, then we just take a deep dive into VARK. So I will share with them what the acronym means. So VARK is visual, auditory, reading, and kinesthetic. So this is basically the different learning modalities or learning styles. So in this deep dive, not only will I, share or define those terms, but I'll also provide recommendations to my human resource department for how they can accommodate learners with those particular styles. So, for example, if it's like a visual learner, just saying, hey, if you have a visual learner in your group, try to, highlight more of the information, use different colors to make it stand out, things like that. Or if it's a learner that is prefers to read or write, encourage note taking, which is something that I like to do. Encourage note taking, have them do a reflection before they end the training to see if there are any gaps there, to see if there's anything that you have to cover before you release them. So we'll take a deep dive into that. And then more fun. So most of my presentation is fun because there's always it is my belief that the more fun something is, the better you retain the information. So I have also incorporated this Nearpod. It's called Time to Climb. Well, Time to Climb is the name of the activity. And if you guys are interested, it will be open until May 26th. So basically, this will be a way to check for understanding. So after, I share the information of the different learning styles and give the recommendations, I want to really see, okay, did they retain anything? Did this information stick? So this is a fun way to do it. So basically in this game, I'm giving just different scenarios and I'm asking the participants, the players, to categorize those scenarios based on the type of learning preference they believe it to be. And then, of course, I want to know how well I did or if there were some areas of improvements. This is always good. Feedback is always good. So there is a survey that I use SurveyMonkey to create at the end of the presentation just to get that feedback so that I can, adapt to make it a better presentation for the next group. So this is the highlights of my course project. Again, it's all about optimizing the onboarding process for new hires. I hope you enjoy it. I hope one day, if you have to join my company, I'm able to present to you in a way that you learn best. So, yeah, have a good night.